Buenos dias. Bonjour. Only because, in my estimation, I believe that our reality is so engineered in the sense that we are guided, we are almost forced to only focus on the physical. And certainly because of the nature of our reality based upon the five senses, which are instruments of interaction with this 3D physical reality. But you see, that is amplified. That is the information that is gathered from the five senses is further amplified, solidified, reinforced and presented by the digital matrix and the electronic field around us to create or reinforce a certain perception of reality. So I hope that made sense. But what I'm saying is I believe that my message has been to somehow, in whatever way I can package this and present this, to convince anyone who needs convincing or is interested that there is reality beyond this digital matrix, this physical matrix of the five senses, that we do possess something within us that has been traditionally identified as the soul, which is the go-between between our physical reality and the heavenly reality, or spirit, or that part of us which is eternal, that the soul recognizes. So our physical reality has been amplified and has been for so long. Of course, we had a master come a long time ago, 2,000 years ago roughly, one of the many emissaries of light that has appeared throughout the history of this planet. There have been others. There's been Quetzalcoatl, there's been Thoth, Jehuti, the Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas. There's been many of these emissaries of light that have came to spread this message, to teach this message that we are more. What makes us human, or what is part of our component list of parts, our divine anatomy, if you will, is more than this physical reality. So I want to talk about where I've kind of compiled some of this information in the form of a written word format, a wisdom offering, as I like to call it, in written word format. But in this most recent book, where I want to show where I borrow a quote from an author that I'm fond of, and hopefully solidify this point in anyone's mind at this particular juncture in time who needs to understand that the reality beyond the physical is very legitimate. Okay, I lived a long time kind of like lukewarm. And if you're familiar with that saying in the scripture, be thou hot or cold, because if you're lukewarm, I will spit you out of my mouth. Well, I was continuously just being spit out of the master emissary of light's mouth, and life was resetting, and I would get somewhere, then it'd all fall apart. But this constant living life kind of at the mercy of the ebb and flow, the yin and yang, you know, not being fully in command or in control. But when you accept the reality of all of these higher dimensions and aspects, and when you kind of see through the illusion that is the matrix, when you begin to master your physical reality, and you're not a slave to all of the worldly distractions. They're there for a reason, but they're there for you to master ultimately. So anyway, when you begin to understand this triad of existence, your body, your spirit, your soul, and how all this works together, then and only then do you go to the new earth. Then and only then do you begin to channel or bring in those higher frequencies of existence, which we understand is like harmonic universe number 2, 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, or yeah, 3rd or 4th, 5th, and 4, 5, and 6, yeah, harmonic universe. Anyway, don't have my coffee. So check out my most recent wisdom offering in written word format. Yeah, I'm being a little, I don't know, cocky is a word, but you know, a little bombastic. But hey, it's all in good fun. I keep it real. I don't try to make any pretenses. I'm a little word nerd. So the Academy of the Ascendants. Now this is actually, I'm going to go to the book itself on Amazon and look at from the example of the book. You can go to Amazon and it has like a little sample that you can do. But so that's the idea behind the cover of this book: spirit, soul, genetic vehicle, and this triangular symbol, which is a very ancient symbol. It's symbolic in a lot of different alchemical connotations and meanings and nuances. But you see, in its basic meaning, the triangle is two parts solidified by a third part. So if you're only kind of running along, with consciousness and that you're focused upon one aspect of who you are, which is a triad of existence, a triad of divine anatomy, well, then you kind of get out of balance and things get a little messy. But when you're fully cognizant of all of these aspects of your divine anatomy, then you become a self-empowered meta-unit and you rise to the new earth, the golden age timeline. So that's what I'm trying to draw home and trying to make a reality in people's mind in one way or another. And so this is the third book, New Earth Golden Age Timeline, Volume 3. It was released May 31st, 2023. So, and this table of contents, dedicates, disclaimer, here's a heart mind healing, forward introduction. Chat. I have a little creative fun with the chapters, the way the formats are. I kind of sneak in some things that aren't necessarily listed as a chapter, but anyway, it's just kind of meant to be creative. So anyway, here's the quote that I really want to share that I lead this book off with. And it says, "The soul, or the shadow, as well as the spirit, is a form that makes up part of a triad in which the body plays its role. The body could be viewed as a vessel, a car, if you like, in the modern sense. And inside are two distinct characters, the soul and the spirit. In early Norse tradition, the soul was shed during death and returned to the darkness of the waters between us and the other world, often depicted as the void. Before it vanished into the waters, it was known to take the form of a serpent. Each one had access to accumulated pools of knowledge gained from their time here. The spirit itself cannot truly exist in this reality without the fundamental cooperation from the body and the soul. And the body cannot exist without the same cooperation from soul and spirit. It's all about balance. When we are in harmony, the shadow, and the way the author uses this word shadow. It's conterminous with soul. Okay, not shadow as in light and dark. The dark shadows. It's that aspect, our soul, or the energetic aspect of our guardian angel, if you will, our soul. But there's a reality beyond these five senses, and so this is what that's about. Shadow, in the sense, just when you shadow, think soul. So when we are in harmony, the soul, we are appointed at birth, can be an exceptional protector of the body and spirit. Now I'm going to end this video, but I want to talk about what I believe when he says, when the soul, we are appointed at birth, can be an exceptional protector of the body and spirit. The ancient pages of the Opera Omnia suggest that certain people are protected by shadow. Certain people are more in touch with the reality of their soul. Those who aren't fully brainwashed by the digital matrix, with their faces stuck in their smartphone, totally oblivious. But there are others who are not like that. These people who are in touch with their soul, protected by shadow, protected by their souls. Such an alliance offers protection against demons. And if you don't think demons exist, think again. Or other supernatural entities. If you don't believe this reality exists, believe again. Go deep within, get your face out of your smartphone, and know there's another reality. And it's about to come to fruition here on this planet. It's about to come full blown. So you better get right with whomever, Quetzalcoatl, Thoth, Jesus, Buddha, but some aspect of your higher existence. That's all I'm saying. Okay, I'll pipe down. But such an alliance offers protection against demons or other supernatural entities, all of which are nothing more than shadows themselves. They're in the higher energetic worlds, that people get freaked out when something beyond their five senses happens and their ego can't explain it. There's a reality beyond your little manufactured ego. And it's about to become fully evident to a lot of people. So if this is the case, then surely finding balance in oneself is of the utmost importance and ultimately would also be the greatest protection we could ever develop. And that's from the book, The Deception of Gods and Men, the Price of Power Has Never Been So Great. So, and that was, just from the, that's how I lead this book off with, Academy of the Senate. It's available on Amazon. I'm not necessarily trying to promote that book, but it's just because really writing these books wasn't any kind of an ego thing, or it was a way for me to kind of bring information together to solidify in my 3D mind, and so anyway, so I want to talk about this when that part where in the book where it says, or the quote rather, where it says, let me go back to the quote. It says, the spirit itself cannot truly exist in this reality without the fundamental cooperation from the body and the soul, and the body cannot exist. It's all about balance when we are in harmony. So where it says, when we are in harmony, the shadow or the soul we are appointed at birth can be an exceptional protector of the body and spirit. So, yeah, the shadow or the soul that we are appointed at birth. So in Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, it says, we see where man was formed, and the Lord God, source, the prime creator, the divine good programmer, formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Man became a living shadow. Because I'm using shadow because sometimes, a lot of times, people hear the word soul and they shut down. They don't. And even people who are, I mean, to include myself, somebody who reads these words all the time about souls and spirits, and you still have to work through understanding. There's new levels of understanding. So this shadow, using the word shadow, is a more, kind of might trigger something in somebody's mind for understanding, but it's not meaning like shadows like light and dark and ooh, the shadows, but this is something that's, yes, it's like a beyond this physical reality. So the living soul, and man became a living soul and God breathed into his nostrils. So this moment, the original of the word life and the breath of life is che, and is in the plural. So this may refer to the fact that the inbreathing of the, I'm trying to, let me see if I can get away from using the word God and biblical references. So when God, like, I don't know another way to do it, but when the inbreathing of God entered man's body, it became the spirit of man. So whether or not you want to believe in the existence of God, but there is a reality to our divine matrix, our component parts, our spirit, which can be understood as our conscious, our intuition, the soul, which is our mind, our emotions, our will, and the body, which is obviously of this world, is our vessel, genetic vehicle, that how we operate in this third dimension. But the body is nothing more to be a house of the soul, and the soul is really the reason why we're here alive in this world, is to make choices and to master this reality and be in touch with our spirit, where we've cleaned our perception through interactions with the eternal spirit, and that's how we master this reality. Because when the spirit reacted with the body, when God's spirit, when the spirit of life, whatever you want to call it, the fractal of source, the energy comes into the body, that's when the soul is created, because it's an interaction between the eternal spirit, the energy spirit of source, and the physical matter. Their soul is the go-between. Man became a living soul. That refers to man's soul when the body was quickened by the spirit and brought into a living and self-conscious or self-aware person. So, going back to Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, man was made up of only two independent elements, the physical, the corporeal, and the spiritual. But when God placed the spirit within the casing of the earth body, the soul was produced. The spirit of man touching the dead body produced the soul. And it's, if you need some scientific understanding, it's been proven that at the moment of death, that literally this has been a scientific experiment where they've had, someone who's, over and over again, this has been proven that at the moment of death, the body loses like automatically, like there's like a pound or something. I forget exactly what it is, and it's only accounted for because there is something that has left the body at the moment of death, a component that was part of this divine matrix. At the moment of death, the body loses weight immediately, and there's no other explanation. And it's been proven that it's an electrical component, an ethereal component, a light component of your soul. Your soul, that's your avatar, your light body leaving the physical body. This has all been proven over and over again in science. So I'm trying to press home the fact that we are more than these physical bodies. This reality is more than this physical reality. We are divine. We have divine aspects of spirit that is from source. The time is now where people are about to be tricked and fooled, and what's going on out there in the 3D world with, wonders and sights in the skies and all that. I'm telling you, go within, master yourself, become familiar with all of your divine aspects, your higher energy components, your soul, which connects you to spirit, which is your higher energy. That's who we really are. We are avatars of light. But this reality, this 3D reality, is going away, and part of it's going to be a big show. There's going to be signs and wonders and earthquakes and all that jazz. But I don't personally have control over any of that. I have control over my divine anatomy aspect of my soul in connection with spirit, and that leaves the little human ego out of the way. I mean, don't be attached to your ego, because the ego is about to be fooled with. There's about to be a big show go on, and people are gonna, if you're attached to your ego and all the fireworks that's gonna be going on, well, then that's kind of where you're gonna be, led down to. But if you're in touch with your soul, if you're in touch through your inner sovereignty, which is your I am presence, God awareness, uh, then we're as free as bees and flying like doves and butterflies. That's all I got. Namaste, namaskaram.